All right, welcome back everyone. This is where we got through yesterday, our two little pieces and a little bit of perspective. And I realize I've got an international audience, so I picked up a British, I think, y'all call them pennies over there? Yeah, penny. I couldn't remember if it was penny or pence or something. Slightly different, and for anybody who's not British, I actually have a euro too. So these are some tiny pieces. And it's hard to get motivated when you know you're a clumsy oaf like I am and have to do all this, but I think it turned out pretty good. I mean, I'm liking the medicine cabinet, and I think this one looks especially good. I'm very pleased with the results on that one. But we're ready for the next page. I'm going to attempt 2 pages tonight, but I'm going to see how the first page goes, and we'll move on from there. But I'll get those pieces, and we'll get going. Okay, here's the next page's worth of parts. Ought to be fun, one way or another. We're going to get through it, though, so let's do this thing. All right, first thing, get this guy. And fold him down the middle, I think. Yeah, that's max zoom. I can move the camera a little bit further, but I don't think I need to go that far. Get a crease going on the line. And maybe just line up the corners after that. It looks good on that side, so I won't worry too much about the white part showing. I think that'll be hidden, obscured here in a second. And get my plate out, because we're supposed to apply glue on the inside. I think back to the old Gorilla Super Glue, just to get the instant bond. Just like usual, empty as much of the excess off my brush as possible. And just, if I can get just the least little dab on there, be more than enough, I think. Go over. Okay. And that side looks okay, so good. Now we take our frame. We're supposed to stack it. We're making a treasure chest is what it says. So it's supposed to go. Ooh, this would be a good time for the old jig out. It's getting a little. I need to sand it out and get the trash out of there, but I think I can use it to make sure I get these lined up. I say that. Get those in there like that, and then do my pressure. That'll get me a good. Okay. So back to the old super glue, and like I say, once again, it won't take much if I can just get a touch on there. I'll go on this side. Get you, and I did it wrong, so let's flip you over. Get you in there. You in there. Nice and long. All right. There we go. And that feels pretty okay. I need a little more sanding on that, but not the actual. This one's done. That side feels okay. Yeah, but I think that's pretty close. Now, this one goes on there like that, ideally permanently. So, and really light on there. And two lined up and a little pressure. Okay, pretty close. I think that, like I say, good enough for our work. Now, okay, and now for the lid, this one, and this one, and that. Check this right quick, and it appears I'm supposed to end up with the lid on here about like this. This would be the inside, and that's of course the outside. So going back to the old super glue. May have been a little too much on that, but now I can't pick it up. Let's jump that on. That off. Okay, there it went, I think. Pressure. Okay. There's the outside. And let's see, I think this is going to be the top, so I'm thinking I want it doing like that. So this, where I can grab it, hopefully in a second. See if I can do a better job on this one. Alright. Didn't do a better job on that part, so I think I'll try and get some of the old B7000 into that. It's prime time for this fine dot application it's got on there. Let's bring it with me, I guess. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Now, I keep moving down on that. I'm going to readjust my aim on my camera. Okay, so I want this to go on here. So, that edge with the super glue, and you give us a good 10 or 12 seconds here. Okay, so I'm gonna pick it up by the bottom. Alright. And I'm actually gonna give that glue, since I don't really have a good flush mount on there, I'm gonna give that glue a few minutes to sort of dry, and work on the other part, next part now. So the next part's building a little cauldron. I think it's a cauldron anyway. Just these guys. It says, okay, we're supposed to take this one and put it into the bottom of this big bead. I'm assuming with trying to keep the green showing, so I'm going to see if I can't just, I think I see what they're doing. I'm just going to try and wedge it, and I just poke through. I'm going to find a blunter. Got some swab here. Yeah, I just poked right through that. Okay. Once again, this is a very much a no redo set, so I'm just going to try and fold it over with mostly the green showing. That's nothing at all like what they had. Let's see, can I? That's not too bad from certain angles. Get Snoopy home again. I forgot about him again. So I'm going to try and put me a drop of glue. Actually, I think the bottom looks better than the top. Let's see if I can do this any better. It's symmetrical. Yeah, I think this side looks slightly better. Gonna take the old beacon. Put a drop in there, hopefully. And strings everywhere. And okay. It's sticking to everything now. Let's try that again. Another drop. Okay, that seems a little better. And I put these little green beads in there on that. Supposedly. They show 3 of them. I don't know if 3's going to fit or not. Barely. It's staying fairly contained up there. So. Okay. And supposedly, we're supposed to use this wire to make a collar for this thing. If I can figure out the good circumference for it. Tighter than that. Getting close. Okay, about like that. Snips in. Not sure. Okay. And I'm just going to trying to put extra beacon on top of all this again. I'm not sure if this is going to work or not, but just try and get the stuff dries super clear, so touch it and get it out of there. Break the string. And tease that in. Alright. And it says we're also supposed to put handles on it, but I don't know if I'm feeling that greedy or not. That would be I think that would be a Bondic moment if I were going to do it, so I'm going to make sure I let that glue dry before I attempt that. But in the meantime, I'm going to mount it onto its little stand here. Get the old B7000 out for this, I think. A few dots around it. Hope it sits into them. I think we got contact. We had contact till I messed with it. Okay, back to contact. Alright. Let that cure up for a few minutes. A string there. Okay. Now, there's a broom. I guess going back and forth is going to eventually confuse me. But, oh yeah, and I also figured out while I was pulling these pieces that this little pink piece was the one that was supposed to go on top of here. So that's why that topper looks so small for it, because it was supposed to be one of these on one of that one, and this one was supposed to get the teeny tiny one. That one. So that's where I goofed that up. But live and learn. I wish they'd used blue or black or some other color, so I would have known that there were two different size pink ones. But like I said, live and learn and move on. Okay, got a little more sanding on that too, I think. Okay. And then go ahead and hit the side up here. And these guys go on there. I think I'll stick with the old B7000. Seems to be doing a pretty good job with this small stuff. in place. And easy enough. Okay. Another place to set this stuff. Now. Okay, I guess back to our little treasure chest. Says we're supposed to wad this one up and sort of stick it down into the bottom. Right, we're hanging the edge. Just about like, thinking like that. Get it to go down in there. That's approximately a good approximation of the picture. So back to the old Gorilla super glue. I can't get a drop down there in the very bottom. Okay, I just looked on the camera. I got more than I'm intended to there. Get you back in there. Okay. Like I said, now I'm curious, can I get... Let me check my stockpile, see if I got any beads like that. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to get a little creative here. I'll double check, make sure there's no other possibilities. I'm just gonna use a couple of the old collars from one of my rocker sets. If I stack them up and put this on top of it, maybe that'll be an acceptable substitute. We'll find out together. Let me see here. What I think that should do really good as a mold to hold it in place. I hope. Okay, looks like it so far. Okay. Get the. It's super good. Actually, I think. I think I'll try the B7000 on this. I think the rubber cement would stick better to this plastic. I'm not positive. Rubber cement-ish, anyway. Spread you around. Then up here. And drop our bead on, hopefully. And I think that'll be an acceptable replacement. It drops down there, maybe. And try and ease you in. Or not ease you in. Okay, that's a pretty poor substitute, but it'll work. See if I can. It sticks to everything that I put in there with it. Okay. Okay, not too bad. And then I'm supposed to stick these two in there with it as well. Oh. Let's see here. I don't think that white one's going to show up at all, but gold one has a shot. Let's see if I can pull on the end here and drop it. I guess if I can down in there. And then maybe put the white one on top of that. Stick to something besides my tweezers. Okay, that sort of shows up, yeah. I'm not sure what it's supposed to represent, but it shows up. Maybe if it'll focus on it, and maybe not. Get that. Okay. Now, that's, I think that's sort of set in, that our little cauldron dealio. And that completes our treasure chest. And our broom. Pretty good shape. Alright. Now, up. Get to, supposedly, this goes on here. Oh, you can't see that. This goes on here to make the bottom of the box. And then you wrap that around, and this one is going to make the top of the box. I do not like the chances here. I'm having some inspirational ideas, I think. Let's see if I can find an appropriately thin couple of pieces of scrap. Okay, I'm thinking put that in the middle, that on the top. That'll take, if that works out to be close, that'll take all the, that'll provide a little more structure to go around. But I won't know until we try. So you get this bend. Okay, let's see how close that is on. Okay, I actually need a thicker one. Not gonna be thick enough. I thought that was I was worried that was going to be too thick. Let's see. Because, I mean, maybe just use 2 of those. Let's see how that works. Alright. Actually get them to stack. Okay, that's going to be pretty close. Maybe a little tall, but I think that's going to be worth doing to not have the headache of trying to make that thing, this suitcase or whatever we're about to be making, stand up on its own. So I'm going to go ahead and, stack them up right now so I can do that. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Sort of in the middle there. Push down. And the next layer. Next layer, smooth. Okay, and this is where, oops, need make sure the top and the bottom line up there, so let's do that. Make sure you get us a good sandwich there, a little more pressure there. Let's see, not. Okay, now this there, and then, yeah, that came out actually pretty darn close. And now we just wrap it around the edges. Getting you on there. Yeah, that's sometimes better to be lucky than good. Alright, so back to the old super glue. Just dollop right there. You in place. That moved. Okay. Now, should just be able to hit this top on this one. Or and we'll just work our way around. Yeah, I can't imagine doing this with just the hollow. That would be a nightmare. One this side. Okay. Okay, I'm pleased and I'm proud of that. That worked. I can't believe it worked out that good. Because that one looks really nice. Cool. All right. That is a relief. I was about ready to give up on that after that point. Let me go see how long I've been going, how long this video is before I decide to go on any further. So I'll be right back. Okay, if I had any sense, I'd stop right there because that was going to be ending on a high note, but it hadn't been quite long enough of a video yet, so I'm going to power on. First thing to do, we're making, for some reason, a different style book cover. We're supposed to fold these outer edges in and around. So that's supposed to go like that onto the back, and do that all the way around the edge of our book here. So that all happens in the back. So I think we're supposed to actually stick that down as well, so prop that open a little bit again. And I think I'm just going to stick with the old B7000. It seems like a good, I say, sort of in-between glue. It's a little more forgiving than the super glue, but it's still pretty quick. In there. And then that down and sit it on something out here, and got me something to sit on top of it to hold the glue in place. Maybe. There it goes. Okay, and while that's doing that, I'm supposed to make accordion up the pages. And no, there are slightly darker lines to go by, and I think this is up, and it shows front page going this way, so every other one should go this way. And then other one's going that way, other way. I guess I should think positive. Maybe I can end on another high note. think I got it off there somewhere, but we'll find out. Yep, I missed. No, I always have trouble getting these things to line up. I like it better when they do solid books. And they, okay. And the bad thing is we're gonna be mounting this book face down, so none of this really matters. It goes down like that. So, all right. Okay, so yeah, this is not stuck. I didn't have a good flat weight, so but I think it's worked. Okay. And we're supposed to fold this one with make sure we have the binding in the middle. I got the general book shape vibe going on. And then these guys go in there. Like I say, we're going to end up doing it face down like that, essentially. So, I think it's time to bring in the big boy super glue. This is one you can really add some pressure to. Okay. This hopefully even enough. Got one wise guy here. Go back. Okay. Okay. Pressure on it and hope it doesn't glue itself all closed. No, it did not. Let's see, we're going to do this one. It's going to be, I say, presented like that. So you sort of see that book-esque thing there. All right. Okay. And actually, yeah, it's supposed to go right on here. So, no time like the present. Through there it appears. That. Maybe a little less flat, but still, I think it still has the effect. And then we're supposed to get a piece of the wire. It says I'm sort of, I don't know why they won't tell me how long the whole thing should be. It says about 3 centimeters total with loops. So I'm going to go 5 centimeters. I don't know. Maybe that may be too much for loops. Because we're doing little small loops for a bead. Also, this was another salvaged bead because I don't think they gave me all the right beads, or I used another one in the wrong place again. So maybe, okay, so 4.5, so I'll go to there. All right. I don't think we're going to end on another high note. But I could be wrong. Okay, so bring it around there. It says use a screwdriver to make these loops. So that's one of their the traditional, usual screwdrivers. Let's see. Okay. It says this is supposed to sort of be something like that, sort of. It's got a little bit different shape, but it's So I want it mounted somehow. Okay, this is a Bondic moment, I think. Yep. Okay. Bondic out. And pool of it right here. Okay. Ease that guy down into it and hit it. And do a little bit more over the top just to make sure. Alright, so we are mounted, and I may use that again to mount our snitch since I've got it out. Like I said, I salvaged that one out from a different set. So this one, make sure they're going to fit in there. Fit both sides. Yeah, that's going to work. And I think B7000, because I need something with a little bit of tacky to it. Like I say, I like the control of the nozzle on this thing too. Get a little bit there. Strings are in the way, but that's okay. And tab on that side. Make sure we got the okay. Oop. Okay, so let that do its thing for a minute or two. And I will let you there. Let you there. And we'll move over to looks like, oh, yeah, I missed a piece. I didn't see it. What is A15? I think I know what it is, but I want to double check. Yep. It's a this guy. That's going to be the perch for our owl. So let's do the owl right now, just because I'm feeling it. Not really. Okay, it's not going too bad. I need to be more optimistic. We had success with our snitch mount, and the snitch is, I think, going to look okay. Okay. Hold Hedwig down. Let's backside. Line them up. Front side. A little excessive. Okay. Set you aside. Well, yeah, set that aside for a second too. I think I know what I'm doing. I guess on the upside, I didn't have to build this thing, so that's positives. And this goes, just fold it in half. And it goes here once you glue it. Okay. And back to the super glue. Minimal super glue, I hope. Just enough to hold it shut. Then, I think I'm just going to hit the top and bottom. I think those are where it's going to really hit. It actually doesn't even make it that far, just barely. Okay, we got the brick situation going in there. Dab off the excess glue here. Alright. Okay. So let that glue set up. I get to do some stuff on the inside too. Just and keep sticking to it. Go back. I think our snitch has had time to, yeah, seems fairly stable now. So that's going to go on here. That worked surprisingly well as well. Okay. I think I'll go with the B7000's been working, so I'm gonna stick. Ain't broke, don't fix it, right? In here with that. Hope it hits on some of it. Good. Okay. Okay, now we're pretty quickly moving back and forth. That's the effect on that. Now let's bring Hedwig back in. He's okay. We're supposed to glue him to the top of the little mushroom looking button deal. So B7000 yet again, mostly because of that, like I say, the precision nozzle. Actually, you know what? Having trouble with this, so let's put this guy. Yeah, hard to grab onto. Get it right side up. Hopefully. Drop on top there. Stick into Hedwig. Okay. And we are supposed to take 3 of these gold sticks and mount them inside that little cube. And it looks like a fireplace. I don't know why you put your living owl on top of a fireplace, but you'll have to look. I'll have to try and give you a peek at this one tomorrow. I'm going to take the big one just because I want a big glob of glue in there, I think. Stand up straight, Hedwig. And the string. Okay, Hedwig is not standing up straight. Put this in there. That does not look at all like what they have, but I think I'm going to live with that. I may have to do some more work on Hedwig though, because he's not cooperating with me. Okay. Better leave him alone. But that actually concludes page 7. So, yay. This, I think, is sort of. I'm seeing a trend. I'm happy with one piece and not as happy with the other piece, but I think it looks okay. And our treasure box or whatever, treasure chest, I forget what that's called. Cauldron's not bad. Broom's okay. And of course, these from yesterday, I think I've made it clear. Getting a good collection of stuff together, so that's good. I think I've stretched on out past an hour now, which is, I guess, good. But yeah, I think and like I say, here's those coins for scale for everybody. Let's say this is some tiny stuff, and I'm struggling with that, but I got faith this is going to be worth it in the end. I think this is going to look really good when we get everything all together. And this little stuff is always a part that bugs me about these things. So let's see. I got faith it's going to be good. It's going to look great, and I'm going to be proud of the results. But with that, thanks for watching, everybody. Like, subscribe, comment, complain, share, do whatever you want to with all of that. Be good to one another. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.